come back, please come back, please come back. Okay, welcome back everyone. We're getting it to work hopefully this time. Sam is just figuring out how to click request to go live, so it will be just 1 second. Okay, so Sam is here. Has she figured out how to request to go live yet? Oh, there we go. Is that it? Okay, Samantha is here. We're just trying to figure out how to get her to join. So please keep joining everyone. Sam, if you're watching this, try the buttons at the bottom and see if any of them say request to join the video, because I'm not entirely sure.
Yay!
Yes! Brilliant, it has worked. Hello! You're right, Sam, how are you doing? You okay?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very, very good. Sorry, frozen there. For everyone who's just joined, if you are watching this on Samantha's channel, then my name is Henry. I was a contestant on last year's Bake Off. If you're watching on my channel, then this is Samantha Barks. She is a Broadway, West End film actress. She's been in everything. If you've seen what the film of them is, she was in that. And she is going to be Elsa in the West End production of Frozen, which opens in October, is it?
In November.
November.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for joining, and we are going to be making something very, very simple. I don't know how much baking, Samantha, you do or have done.
So I love baking. I'm a very, very enthusiastic baker. I'm not saying I'm a good one, but I love watching you guys, and then
Thank you.
I feel like I get a little bit, I feel like we all get a bit better by watching you guys, because then we think we can do it, and then we actually can't. We think we can.
So you bake quite often then?
I do, yeah. I love it. The problem is, like, when I'm on my own, I just don't bake, because it's, I will literally just sit and eat them all day by day. But
also,
when I'm around people,
now because there's no one except whoever you're in the house with to eat whatever you bake as well. So it's quite hard to be restrained because you can't really give it to anyone, can you, except people in your house?
Exactly, but I give it to my neighbour, and
yeah.
If I'm with my family, they'll bake. But I'm a snackaholic at the moment. It's just
this is good. I realised after we discussed what we were going to do, I realised that the biscuits we're going to make, so they end up looking like this. They're sort of small macaroon-like biscuits. I feel like Ready Steady Cook because I've made them in advance, but they should look like that. And they're called, I didn't realise they were called, but they're called Nancy macaroons, which is very suitable because you, of course, played Nancy in Oliver. So this has worked out really brilliantly. Okay, so me and Sam will be chatting as we go. I'm just going to quickly go through what it is you should have in front of you. So I've got here 125 grams of ground almonds. Perfect. Oh, she's even weighed them out. This is amazing. Then here we've got 160 grams of caster sugar. Beautiful. Oh, she's so prepared. And here we have 3 eggs, but we're going to separate these eggs. We're just going to use the egg white from these.
Okay.
And then also just a little bit of icing sugar, because we dust the biscuits with those. We also have some ingredients for the mousse and ice cream that we're going to do, but we'll worry about that later. So this is good. So do you want to get started? Are we good?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm baking with you. It's so fun. I've just watched
honestly,
every week.
The pleasure is all mine, honestly. So we are going to start. First of all, the biscuits are really quick, easy to make. Just get the ground almonds and get the caster sugar, and mix them together in a bowl. And then just with a spatula, whisk, wooden spoon, anything, just until they are fully combined. And then all we're going to do to that is crack in 50 grams of egg yolks. Egg yolks? Fuck, no, egg whites. That's the one. And so there's only 3 ingredients, and that comes together to make a macaroon-like shell biscuit. Also, I realised when doing these, it's actually quite hard to talk and separate eggs at the same time. But we're going to try.
It's very hard for me.
What sort of things do you bake like most? Do you?
So I do you want to be like we were saying that I made the Levain cookies, which from New York, my favorite cookies ever.
They're the really sort of fat, gooey ones in the middle.
Yeah,
they're incredible.
I love them. And so things like that, I'll like, you know, look up something out, or brownies, cookies, things that, like I said, you can share out, because I feel like sometimes I make it, there's no point making a cake unless I'm going somewhere, bringing it somewhere.
That's true, yeah. There's no point making something really impressive if no one's going to see it, really.
Exactly.
It's quite hard to stay motivated to bake when there's something to bake for.
Is it? Sorry, it's egg whites.
Egg whites. So we're just going to crack open the eggs and separate the eggs into a jug. So we've got 50 or so grams of egg whites.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, it's slightly below, slightly over, it's all fine. And then once we've got this bit done, I'll feel a lot less stressed, basically. And I'll be able to concentrate on actually talking, because right now I'm struggling.
Okay.
Hang on. So if anyone's doing this at home, we're doing it quite slowly. So hopefully that will help. Okay, right.
Oh yeah, maybe.
So I've got my egg whites separated and my ground almonds and icing sugar mixed together. And we've got lots of people watching. This is good. This is going well. Also, by the way, your kitchen is incredibly, it looks like a Cath Kitson sort of like set kitchen. It's really quite nice.
Thank you so much.
And there we go. Also, I'm going to ask this early on. Is your dog in there with you somewhere?
Oh yeah, she's here. Hang on.
We'll get this done first. So I'll get the cat and you get the dog. And
yeah.
Yes. Okay, so while Sam's just doing that, all I'm going to do is I've got my egg whites in a jug here, and I'm just going to pour it into the bowl with the ground almonds and the icing sugar. And then all I'm going to do here is just beat it together with a spatula. It will feel quite stiff at first, but eventually it will come together into sort of a stiff paste, and that's the sort of texture that you're looking for. There we go. And so just beat it, when you're ready, just beat it with a spatula. It'll feel really quite resistant at first, but it will come together into one sort of homogeneous mass sort of thing. This is only the second time I've done these, so we're going to really hope it works. Oh dear.
And so, do you just feel like everybody is always like, please bake my birthday cake?
So I was at uni this year until everything got shut down, and I made quite a few. It's amazing the things you can do in a small uni kitchen. Yeah. But I made quite a few birthday cakes for people. Oh, but that's quite nice, to be fair. I enjoy doing that. But now I'm living at home with my parents, and they're just both a bit sick of baking and stuff like that. I think there comes a point in the lockdown where the novelty of a cake wears off, and I think we've reached that point. So, if you're beating quite vigorously, should be about there. I am basically at the consistency it needs to be. Hang on. I'll just turn the camera around. So it should look a bit like that sort of consistency.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah. And so once you get to that, once you get there, stop, and then we can sort of relax, which is nice. This is the most stressful this Instagram live is going to be. Oh dear. So anyone who's watching, Samantha, she's been in Oliver, Les Mis. She's about to star as Elsa in Frozen, as we said. But the last musical you did was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Chess in Tokyo, was it?
Yeah. Which
I hadn't actually heard the soundtrack to that until we arranged this, but it's written by half of ABBA, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And if you haven't heard it, anyone watching, it's an absolutely incredible Florence.
Florence, right? Yeah.
Florence, yeah. And
you can hear the ABBA, can't you, in there?
Yeah, oh, you really can. What the song's called? I'm trying to think.
Nobody's Side.
There's because Elaine Page was in it in the original production, wasn't?
Yeah.
Oh, what's it called?
Was it wasn't it
I
good?
no, it was. I think it was. I Know Him So Well, and
I know him so well. Oh,
they're absolutely amazing.
such a beautiful song, isn't it?
Is Heaven Help My Heart one of your songs as well?
Yes.
I love that one as well, to be fair.
It's so beautiful, that song. And it's funny because when I listened to it, I sort of hadn't paid much attention to that song because it's sort of she has so many numbers. So I enjoyed it, but actually when we performed, like it may have been like my favorite or one of my favorites.
Really?
A question here: is that like a bit? Is that alright, or is that a bit?
It might have gone. It's gone quite liquidy, isn't it? If it's a bit liquid, okay. Have you got any ground almonds left?
No. Can I put a bit of flour in it?
Fuck it, why not? Flour might just. I think because the thing with egg whites, if you keep beating too much, they release a lot of water.
Okay.
So that might be what's happened there. It's okay though because you can just sort of spoon little dollops onto the baking sheet.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna taste really good. Anyway.
Either way, it'll taste lovely. Just put a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of flour in.
Okay.
And let's see if that works. If you're doing it at home and you've done what Sam's done, don't worry. But it should look a bit like that. That's
okay.
Because
it's
originally
right.
the plan we may have to deviate a bit from the original plan was to roll these into little balls. And
I'm there now.
You're there now?
Yeah.
Beautiful. This is perfect. Okay, so if you don't stir it anymore, then that's good. And then all we're going to do now is roll them. We should be able to get about 12 small balls out of them.
Yeah.
And if your hands get a bit sticky, then just dampen your hands slightly with a bit of water, and you should be able to roll them out. And so this took about 5 minutes. So we can chill out doing this right now.
Yes.
So that's the sort of thing. Just roll up your hands like that, and that sort of thing is fine, and then place them on the baking tray.
I think it might be more of a dollop actually for me.
Go for like about that. Dollops about that size.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Great.
And then anyone doing this at home, you should get about 12 out of them. At this point, I should have said, if you turn your oven on, Sam, to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, that'll be all good.
Perfect.
And then I'll turn mine on. Hang on. There we go. Right. So, and when did you come back from Tokyo? When did Chess finish its run?
In February.
Oh, okay. Did you take the dog with you? It's Ivy, isn't it?
As Ivy, no, she's actually like right on the floor. She loves the attention, so she's sort of desperate to get into the shot. No, she couldn't.
She couldn't come.
No.
Did you? Because when you were on Broadway, did you take her with you then?
I did.
You did? Okay.
She honestly had the best year ever because she got to come into the theatre with me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was good fun.
How old is she? Is it a young dog?
Yeah, she's only 3, but she's like I would call her Nana because she's like an old soul, I think.
Oh, that's very. Also, she has an Instagram account on her phone, doesn't she?
She does. Miss Ivy Parks.
Plug that big time because that is a very cute account. Okay, so just this is a bit like what mine's looking like. They're little balls like that. Sam's are going to be a little runnier, but that's fine. They'll still bake just fine.
Right, okay. I might not show you mine just now because I'm definitely not going to get 12 out of this because I want to. Okay.
How are they? Are they sort of, as long as they're not running into each other, it should be okay.
They're not.
Also, either way, the ice cream and the mousse we're going to do is literally impossible to get that wrong.
Okay, brilliant.
So we're going to get at least 50% success out of this, and I'm sure what you're doing now will work anyway. So don't worry too much.
Yay! These ones are better.
Okay, beautiful. I'm up to about 8 now. I've probably got enough for about 2, 3 more. And then what we're going to do, once we put them on the tray, we're just going to dampen the top of them slightly with a bit of water.
Yeah.
And then dust a bit of icing sugar on top. So the icing sugar will sort of caramelize a bit in the oven, and it'll make them go a bit nice and browner and give them a bit of a shell on the top.
Right.
So that's the aim. And I'm just going to add a few more to mine. Also, now that if Frozen was due to start in November, and it still is going to start in November, had you started rehearsals and everything before everything shut down?
No, we're meant to start rehearsals in September.
Oh, right, okay.
So, yeah, so I've got a bit of time. I mean,
did you see the show on Broadway?
I did. I saw it.
You did?
I think it was the last time I was in New York or the time before that. I absolutely just loved it. But I'm like a huge fan of the film.
So I hadn't ever seen the film until this lockdown, because my housemate Tom, he's obsessed with it, and he's been telling me to watch it, and it is an incredible film. And I didn't realise it got such a musical theatre cast in it as well.
I know.
Like, it's incredible. No wonder I can transcribe so well to the stage.
Yeah, well, it's just such a perfect one for a musical. You know, it's got so many great songs in it anyway. And then when it comes onto the stage, there's so many more moments that you get to connect with the characters in a deeper way. There's new songs in it. There's sort of,
because the musical is there. How many sort of different songs are there in the musical? It must differ a fair bit, like in terms of additions of songs.
Well, yeah, because for Elsa, I think she sings obviously "Let It Go" in the film, and then there's the duet for the first time in forever with Anna. Like, there's little bits, but in the musical, she's got her other big song in Act 2, "Monster," and then her song "Dare to Dream" in the beginning of Act 1. So she's got lots more solos.
There's a fair few new bits.
Yeah,
right.
Quite a lot of new stuff.
But you still get to sing essentially the most famous song of the last decade.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Which is amazing.
Scary, exciting.
Also, I watched a clip. I think it was on like Good Morning America or something, of when Elsa's singing "Let It Go," and the costume change halfway through that is incredible.
I first saw that on a clip online. I was like, no. I have no idea how they do it. I still don't know, and I'm so excited because I'm just like, this is magic. It's actual magic.
Because it gets to like the last climactic bit, and she's standing there, and suddenly like the black shawl gets whipped off, and this incredible blue is on, and the crowd in the clip went absolutely insane, and rightly so. So you still don't know how any of it works?
No, I have no idea. It's magic as far as I'm concerned.
That's brilliant. Okay, now we're just gonna. So my hand's a bit dirty with the sticky stuff, but we're just gonna put the water on top of each sort of biscuit, each dollop, and then dust the icing sugar on top so it sticks to it.
Yes.
So just get a little bowl of water. I'm just gonna wash my hands. Go.
Okay, so you put a bit of water on the top.
You just use sort of your index fingers, dip your finger in, and just dab a tiny bit of water on the top of each one. You don't want to drench it, just enough that the icing sugar will sort of stick, and you're fine. There we go.
So, are you a musical theatre fan?
Only literally probably about two and a half years ago, it made itself known, basically. And since then, I mean, whenever this lockdown finishes, I cannot wait. I'll buy a ticket to any show, any musical theatre show, just to be there on the reopening night, because it'll just be absolutely insane.
I keep saying that this sort of urge we all have is so much stronger now to just connect with people.
I can imagine.
Amazing.
Because were you in on stage when everything shut down, or were you in between shows? You're in between.
Yeah, I was, because I had come back from Tokyo in February. So it's crazy. It's mad how much it affects our industry as well. Because
I can imagine. A lot of people have turned obviously to like online classes and online concerts. Have you done any of them?
I have, yeah. I've been doing.
Do that because do they? If you're singing to a backing track, does it come over like quite well on like a Zoom call or an Instagram Live, that sort of thing?
I think. Well, I don't know. I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's good enough, isn't it? I think like right now I'm just doing little bits. I haven't done a concert or anything, but I'm doing little bits here and there just because I think it's like we're all looking for something to just make us smile, and I'm doing a few things that are coming out soon. Just like little like just. You know, getting involved and doing stuff because I think it's any way we can all connect, isn't it? Right now is like, so nice,
and just keep it going as well.
Yeah,
because there are no obviously until the government says something, there's no plans in place at all, are there? Really, you just got to wait.
We're all just sat waiting, aren't we? Just not.
But at least Frozen is far enough away that it should be okay, though. That's the main thing. Yeah,
fingers crossed. We're all. I mean, again, who knows anything? But we're all. You know.
Okay, we're now just gonna sift the. If you've got a little sieve, if you don't have a sieve, don't worry.
I don't.
Just sprinkle. That's absolutely fine. I'm just using a little tea strainer, just a little bit, just like that, on top of each one, and then where you've put the water on top of each one, it should sort of soak in quite nicely. If there's a little bit left over, don't worry.
My boyfriend is looking at me right now because they definitely are going to look very different to yours.
Can we have a look before you put in the oven? I'm intrigued to see what they look like.
Oh, they're lovely.
Okay. No, because they're like completely flat.
What are we making?
Okay, well,
making pancakes.
Shut up.
Hopefully, I don't know whether this is biologically possible, but hopefully they'll rise up a bit in the oven.
I think so. And do you know what? They're going to taste so nice.
Exactly. So this is what, if you're doing it at home, they could look like this. They could look a bit more like Sam's ones, in which case go for it, that's fine.
All right.
Okay. No, they're not touching each other, are they? Look, they're fine.
Yeah.
You might have to bake them for a bit longer than me because they look a bit bigger.
Yeah.
But that would be fine. It'll be absolutely fine. So now we're going to put them into the oven. I've written down 20 minutes. Realistically, it could be like 25 minutes, half an hour. So we'll get going with the ice cream mousse in the meantime.
Right.
So that is going to go.
Babe, you set a timer for me for 25 minutes. Oh, you'll tell me. 25 minutes.
Will I? Oh, no. Can your boyfriend set a timer just in case?
Yeah, set a timer for 25 minutes.
25 minutes.
Yeah, do you know you watch like a fitness DVD and you've got like the professional and you've got the one who does like the sort of weaker version. That's what they're doing. You're watching like the perfect version and then like how it could go wrong is me.
That is the first time I've ever been compared to somebody on the screen of a fitness DVD, and I suspect the last time as well. But I will take it.
Be the call of this operation, you know, and I'm always like doing the half plank.
I think we watched one. I don't know why we did. We watched one of the Joe Wicks classes, and I just couldn't bear how happy he was after like 5 minutes. He was just so infectiously happy. I was like, it's impossible to be this happy and doing what you're doing.
He's amazing, isn't he?
It's incredible.
It's like, people go, are you doing the Joe Wicks? And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing as much. But that's a funny thing that's come from this, I think, is everyone's like, oh, you know, it's, I'm doing this. And also it's like, it's also okay to chill. It's okay to not have, you know, I think that it's like the pressure of like, should I be doing this? And it's like, you should be doing exactly what you want to do right now. That's, you know, that's all we can do.
When you wake up in the morning, it's like, okay, another day of this. And some people are filling it with the most incredible stuff. And it's like, I don't know how you got from, I'm in bed now. I don't know how you managed to skip that stage and get to doing what you're doing. It's incredible.
It's amazing, but I love that. But I'm also like, but we should all just like not feel so much pressure. I keep saying, I'm not doing this. Is that okay? And it's like, it's completely okay. Do whatever brings you happiness.
That is a good life lesson from Samantha Barks there. We are now going to get on. I've now realised how perfectly and thematically I've planned this, because we've just made Nancy macaroons and now we're making a frozen mousse. And quite frankly, I'm quite proud of myself for doing that.
That's impressive.
This is an ice cream and a mousse in that it depends how long you freeze it. And all you need to do this is double cream, condensed milk, and Sam's going to put melted chocolate in hers. You can put coffee, spices, berries, nuts, literally anything you want. And it'll be absolutely fine. It's really, really quick to do. So first thing we're going to do is weigh out 175 grams of condensed milk into a bowl. And then after that, we're going to weigh out 300 grams or 300 mils of double cream. And then all we're going to do is whisk it together until it's like fairly thick and like whipped cream, basically. So it's really, really quick to do. I'm just going to whip cream.
Ice cream. If I'm able to make ice cream, that's...
I don't know, because ice cream makers cost like $1. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know why more people don't just make it like this, because literally it tastes, the texture is just the same. It tastes just as nice. And it's so much cheaper as well. So I don't know why, and you can adapt it.
You to guide us, that's what we need.
I should say, I'm stealing half this recipe from someone online. Although half is me, so. Okay, so if you've got a hand whisk, that's all you need, and also it'll be less loud. So I'm not going to turn on my massive food processor now. I'm just going to whisk it by hand.
175.
175 of condensed milk,
Okay.
300 of double cream.
Right.
And then if you're doing chocolate, aren't you, with yours?
Yeah.
Yes. So if you've got a microwave, melt in the microwave. If not, melt it over a pan of hot water, and that'll be just fine. So if you want to do what Sam's doing, she's got like around 150 grams, 200 grams of milk chocolate, and just melt that, and then we'll fold it into the cream condensed milk mixture at the end, basically. So I'm just doing that now. Also, Sam's kitchen is so big, she gets so much smaller when she goes far away.
You what?
Your kitchen's so huge, you get so much smaller when you go like far away. And so just whisk it until it's like the texture. How are they looking, the macaroon things in the oven?
Oh, they look good. No, they are. They're like, yeah.
They've risen. Beautiful.
They're doing
Perfect.
well, yeah.
That's good. Okay, so just whisk it until it's like a mousse-like whipped cream texture, and then we'll be good. Is Ivy still watching, by the way?
She is. It's so funny. So mixing the two things together.
Yeah, in the same bowl, mix them together, and then just whisk it by hand until it might take like 5 minutes with by hand, but that's okay. Until it's like a thick, moussey whipped cream texture.
I'm being so careful with this chocolate because I've massacred so many bars of chocolate in the microwave before. It just goes crazy.
I still can't get my head around the microwave. We've got one at uni, and I'm really scared of it. I don't quite trust it.
Well, it's... Oh, God. See, look. Oh, look.
Yes! Oh, there's a dog on it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, look at her. Fucking hell, she's gorgeous.
She's so funny. Look, Ivy. You're in a
Hello. Oh, look at her.
She's so funny. She's like a proper sun worshipper. Oh, look at it again. And so I'll be like, where's Ivy? I look out the window and she's just like sunbathing. And normally she's really good to come in. But when it's sunny, she's like, no.
Has that melted all right?
Yeah, it's going good. Another
Beautiful. Hang on, 1 second. Hang on. All I've got is this to compare to Ivy.
Hi!
And it's not, she's such a grumpy cat, George. He said,
How
George, I'm going to smile. No, you're not. God. The longer you've been in lockdown with Ivy, has she got her head around people being around so much? Because our cats are really fed up with us now.
No, she's good. You know, she's a real people dog. Not people person, people dog.
Yeah.
And she really loves like attention. And like I said, when she was in the theatre, she's just in her element.
Oh God. Does she come into the theatre like backstage with you?
Yeah, she comes in my dressing room, and
That's
people go and visit her. She's just like, she has the best time. Yeah, she's a lucky girl. Quick question. So
Go for it.
What should this be like?
So at the moment, mine's still quite liquidy. It's still like moving around. It should be, I'm trying to think of almost like yogurt, thick yogurt.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be too stiff, and it should still like dollop back if you lift the whisk out and a dollop falls back in, that sort of thing.
Okay. So
there should really be like a scale of textures. It's quite hard to describe.
There's what?
I don't know. It's quite hard to describe the texture of what it should be, but like you don't want to whisk it until it's too thick because it needs to be scoopable when it comes out the freezer as well.
Okay.
So it's quite hard to over whisk with a hand whisk as well because it takes quite a long time to get there anyway.
What do I put the chocolate in later?
Yeah, so we put the chocolate in once we're at the desired consistency, sort of thing, and then we're good. I'm nearly there. Because normally it's nice to be able to talk to somebody while I'm baking. Because either I can't bake in silence. Because usually I'll put like Mamma Mia on in the background. Yeah. I can bake to that. And I can never ever bake in silence.
No, I know. I love
it. That's quickly become my lockdown film as well. The second Mamma Mia, not the first one.
Mamma Mia. The second one.
Yeah,
my friend is in the second one. Danny Bowen. She helped. She helped with the making of it, and I was just like, I want to see it. And I was like, there she is, there she is, there she is.
Oh my god, what sort of bits is she in? That's amazing.
She's in the school bit, the graduation.
Oh yeah.
Bit. She's in it's hard to describe, but I'm sure it's a bit with Pierce Brosnan. It's on the advert, and then all of a sudden in the background it was Danny B, and I was like, there she is. It was like. She was in like so much of it, sort of constantly like.
That's amazing. Is she a dancer then?
She's what?
Is she like a dancer performer? So
yes.
she could like double in lots of different bits of it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's honestly, I think the happiest film in the world.
It's so good. I love it.
Oh. So my chocolate is nearly melted. Let's go. Mine's still taking a while to thicken up, so I don't know about yours. Yeah. Also, we should say to anyone watching, the Sam here was also in Pretty Woman, but on Broadway. Pretty Woman has now transferred to the West End. Who's playing Vivian now in the West End?
Amy Atkinson.
Is she the one from Six?
Yes.
Yes.
And then Danny Mac is playing Edward.
Oh, I know. He's been in. I know his name. He's been in it a lot.
He's been in a lot. He was on Strictly. Everyone knows him from Strictly. I actually went to my school, so I'm like, oh my god, I know him from ages ago. And he's smashing it. He's in. He was in. What was he in Regent's Park? He was something really fun. He's in like constantly in musicals. He's just like amazing, doing so well.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Is the plot of the film and the musical, are they identical?
Yeah, they are.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you really are seeing the film, like, and that's people love the film, and so it sticks very closely to the film.
Yeah.
People come to see it, they're like, tell me that like the polka dot dress is in it, tell me that the red dress is in it. It's like it's all there. You're not gonna.
It's got all those little moments. Is the necklace snap bit in it?
Oh yeah.
That's in it. Good.
Yeah. So it's people. Yeah, fans of the film will be happy indeed.
Nice.
Yeah, mine is like being stubborn.
Is it getting there?
It's definitely getting thicker, but
it takes quite a lot of elbow grease actually. It's quite strenuous. Actually, I read it. What was it? No, yesterday. In Frozen, apparently there's a role in Frozen in the musical that they have to have two people for because it's such a strenuous role. I think it's. In the musical, I think it's one of like the.
Ben,
I think there's a reindeer in it that has to go on stilts on tiptoes, and they're to highlight.
Like I just like a Broadway video, and it's like amazing what they're doing because like one person is like the legs at the back, and they're in sort of like I think they're like.
That's insane.
What?
But because it's a bit like ballet, isn't it? And they had to hire two people because it's just way too much work for one person.
Yeah.
God. And the way they do like the freezing effects as well, and I think in the same clip on YouTube, in Let It Go, when she freezes like the entire auditorium, and the whole sort of outside of the stage completely sort of freezes over. That's an incredible bit.
It's so cool. When
Unbelievable.
she puts her hand and the whole thing goes. It's like it's really magical.
And was it when you saw on Broadway? Was it quite, because the film's obviously quite children orientated? Is the musical more for adults sort of thing, or is it very similar? You said it delved a bit deeper into the psyche of the princesses.
Yeah, I think that it's like definitely like, you know, children who will, you know, love Frozen are gonna love it, but there is definitely, yeah, I mean, as an adult, there was a lot of different meanings that I was like, wow, you know, that it's really for everybody. They do a really good job at catering for every group. Yeah.
But I'm about there with the thickness of it. Also, the macaroons, mine have, just look in the oven, they're sort of browning on top, so I'm just going to turn them round because my oven's a bit shit. Hang on.
Oh, you know, they smell amazing.
They're right?
Yeah, they smell really good.
Beautiful. They come out slightly, they've got like a hard shell and like a chewy almondy middle sort of thing. This should be very nice. It's looking a bit like this now, the texture of it, the cream. It's sort of, the whisk is leaving lines in it.
What do you think about that?
Hang on, hold it for a bit.
Well, you can't really sit. Okay, I'm just going to look at yours.
Okay, hang on. So that's sort of.
Oh yeah, no, I think I'm. Yeah.
So if it drips a bit like that, you're very, very close.
Okay, I'm getting there. I've still got a little bit to go, but yeah.
That's all right. Beautiful. When you went to like Broadway in Tokyo, and I'm assuming you were you given a flat or somewhere to live?
Yeah, we lived in apartments that were in Tokyo, and honestly, I fell in love with Japan. It was
really.
Oh my god, it's amazing. The people are like some of the kindest people I've ever met in my life. It's just like overwhelming how lovely people are, and the cast were just incredible. I learned some Japanese. They teach me Japanese every day. It's really
That's
like
amazing.
It's really hard for Japanese to learn English and English to learn Japanese because it's really like the sentences are structured in the opposite way.
Yeah.
So,
oh right. Okay.
Where I think they were explaining to me like they put. So if you say like he is wearing shoes, blue shoes.
Yeah.
They use the he at the very end, so you won't know who they're talking about until the end. So they'll say like,
oh, weird.
Blue shoes are worn by him. It's not that, but you know. So it's like. Really
You're constantly anticipating who's being spoken about in a sentence.
Yeah, they really listened to the end of the sentence, which is a good thing.
That's. And what was it in English though? Chess? Was it performed in English? Okay.
We did it in English, but like some of the cast didn't really speak a lot of English. A lot of people spoke amazing English, but some people didn't speak a lot of English, and just the music they had to learn, and they learned it in perfect English. It was just like the amount of work. Their work ethic was just incredible. It was a really cool place. So go, visit if you when we're all allowed to travel one day. It's a really cool place to visit. And
so, were you one of how many non-Japanese performers were there in the production?
So just 3. So it's me, Ramin, and Luke. We went over, and then the rest of the cast were Japanese.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so cool.
How long were you in Japan for then?
For probably 2 months, yeah, because I left in January. No, it was a month. It was exactly 2 months.
So you went straight from Pretty Woman to chess.
I had a bit of time off, and then just after Christmas went to Tokyo. Yeah, and I was there for not a long time, but it felt like I really got to explore. My parents came over, which was just amazing. We actually got to explore and went to Kyoto, which is like old.
Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? I've never been there, but I've seen a lot of Google. So yeah,
it's really beautiful. It's just like this slice of untouched history, and it's incredible. It's so cool.
Insane. Do they have? Is it like a theatre district as there is in London, New York, that sort of thing?
No, I don't think so, because where our theatre was, I didn't see any theatres around there, but you know, they have a lot of shows. They do a lot of shows. They do pretty much all the big shows, but they only do them for like 2 months or like shorter shows. Like
I'm just gonna get my. Sorry, go on. Sorry, carry on. Sorry.
You getting your biscuits out?
I'm about to brown a bit too much. Hang on. Okay, so before I carry on, sorry, this I'm getting mine out now. So they brown a little bit on top like that, but not too much because you still want the inside to be quite chewy and the outside to be fairly hard and crunchy.
Okay, I'm going to get those. Mine are quite brown because imagine they're very flat.
That's what's good.
Okay.
And then, so if you are getting yours out now, if you're doing this along with us, then leave them on the tray to cool. Don't try and take them off. They need to set a little bit on the tray. Then how is your ice cream looking? Fairly thick now?
Yeah. It is.
It is? In that case, I'm going to start, I've just melted a bit of chocolate here. I'm just going to pour it in and just basically stir it in until it's all one mixture. There we go. And so, was it, you were put in Tokyo, it was, is it Ramin you were performing with alongside? Yeah. He was Phantom, obviously, wasn't he?
Yes, and
yes.
Valjean, and I actually did Les Mis with him the 25th anniversary, like
10
years ago. And so we've worked together a few times in that way, just like really short, quick things. So it was really cool to get to actually properly work with him on something.
And it's also, is what in that musical, your character doesn't die, does she?
No, which is amazing.
Which is, because I mean, Nancy definitely dies. Eponine hits the deck in the second half. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you know, everyone kept saying to me, like, my family would be like, for your next role, please don't die. My grandma was like, I love, like, she came to see the premiere and she was like, I loved it, but it's really not nice watching you die. She was like, it made me really sad. Like, I've got to start living. But, you know, Vivian, she lives, you know, that's good.
Exactly, Vivian lives. And also Elsa very much lives as well.
Very much lives, yeah.
She more than lives, so that's fine. Okay, so chocolate's going in. I'm just going to I'm adding in some walnuts, and I might put in some dried cherries as well. You can literally put anything you like in this, and it will still work just fine. There we go.
Oh, it's getting good.
It's getting good. If it looks like it's separating slightly, just keep folding it, and eventually it will come together. But it should be fine. It's just sometimes like hot chocolate going to cold cream can do a dodgy thing. Okay. I'm just sort of crunching up the walnuts fairly small and putting them in, and a few dried cherries as well. Okay.
So tell me about your time on the Bake Off. Did you love it? How was it? Because it's like, I'd imagine, just takes over your whole life. How was that?
It was exactly this time today last year when we filmed the first episode, I think.
Oh my God!
It was really, that is very strange to think. That year has changed a lot of things. But yeah. It does take over your life because you're doing it every week, depending on how long you last, obviously.
Yeah.
And only when you come out of it do you realise that you were in such a different world. Like, when you're inside it, the most important thing in the world is what size cake tin you have. And then you get cakes out and you realise, actually, there are more important things. But when you're inside it, it's just absolutely incredible.
Oh, it's just like, honestly, this is such an amazing program. Because when I was in America, you know, a few of my American friends actually were like, oh my God, the Bake Off, we get the Bake Off over there. And then but my friends were like, no, I've never heard of the Bake Off. What is it? It's like such a lovely thing to sort of explain. I'm like, it's exactly how it sounds. It's just so.
Because very little happens. It's literally not much happens at all.
But it is, we just like fall in love with everybody, and everyone's just like willing you on, and just like, but everyone's glued. It is just such an amazing program. I'm hooked. It's so good.
I remember when I went to see, because Lucy Jones did this with me 2 weeks ago, and we made something. And I remember when I went to see Waitress, which was in December, and I couldn't believe, because all the cast had watched Bake Off. I didn't realise that a lot of people actually watched it, because when you're in a show like that, you can never really tell how many people it's reaching, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Oh, isn't Lucy amazing?
I'll just show you what it's looking like.
It's doing something.
That sort of thing?
Yep.
Yep, perfect. Oh, that's actually, I just saw that. That's perfect.
Chocolate chips in, because I'm a child.
Go for it. I should say, I'm going to out Sam here a bit. When we were discussing what we were going to make, I first of all suggested these plum puff pastry tarts, and she was like, nah. But then I suggested this coffee ice cream. Do you not like coffee at all?
No, I can't. Like, even if something's got a bit of coffee, well, if it's like a chocolate cake with a little bit of like espresso, fine. But it's like a taste of coffee. I'm not quite there yet.
Fair. In fairness, I can't drink it, but I can eat it in things.
Right.
I think that's the progression. But
I think salted caramel, salted chocolate.
That's fair.
All into that. Anything else?
That's very quick to make as well. I'm just going to get a Tupperware box to put the ice cream in. But you can freeze it in a bowl or whatever. And if you don't drink coffee, what do you sort of survive on when you're doing a show then? What's your like go-to thing?
Well, I'm always drinking water. When you're doing a show, you end up drinking liters and liters of water. It's just crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm not even a big tea drinker really. I think I'm more just water. I'm always having like sparkling flavoured water, which my mom tells me.
That's very responsible. God.
No, it's not. Flavourings in it. She's always telling me off for that. So.
And when I interviewed when Sarah Bareilles came over for Waitress, I interviewed her, and she said that when she goes on stage, or like whenever she's doing musical, she normally has like a drink in her stage room, like a bit of alcohol or something, and she's not that bothered with what she's drinking or eating. And I thought that contrasts quite a lot with a lot of performers who are quite meticulous about their drinking, what they're eating during the running of a show.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's even things like you try and avoid things that give you like phlegm and things like that.
So chocolate is a big no, is it?
Well, no, I mean,
not really.
I always feel like you just gotta see how it goes, because for me, when I'm starting a show, I'm really meticulous, and I'm like, just drink water and try and be really sensible. But I think that every show is different, and you just try and
That'll do 25 minutes.
25 minutes.
Useful.
You sort of see how you go, because there are some shows that you're like, oh, okay.
And you're fine, yeah.
You're fine.
What's the most like high stress role you've had to do where you're like, okay, I need to really focus on what I'm doing outside of this? Like, what took over your life the most?
Vivian in Pretty Woman was probably the most full on, because it's like she doesn't leave the stage.
Yeah.
Within every single scene pretty much, and so it's a lot of singing and a lot of just, you gotta be healthy basically.
Yeah.
And so that was probably that was the most
the high intensity one.
Yeah, but it was just so much fun. It's such a fun show, such a fun role.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like hard work until you're like, whoa, I'm tired at night. But the show flies by in all of 5 minutes, because it's relentless.
And there must be also, just think about the film, there must be a ton of costume changes in Pretty Woman as well.
It's constant. There's one quick change I have where I think there was 7 dresses, and then Victoria would do my wig, and it was just like, and she used to say it was like, she said NASCAR, like Grand Prix. It was like a stop. I need to go, and it would be wig change, dress change, shoe change, jewelry change. It was
Jesus Christ.
really full on.
That's insane.
I did it.
Is that good? Right, so both the ice creams, I think they're looking about the same. If you're doing this at home, turn around. that's the sort of texture you're looking for. It should like wobble slightly. Sam's done it perfectly. So basically, you can freeze that, and if you freeze it for, I don't know, like 2.5 hours, it'll be like a mousse when it comes out. If you leave it for longer, you can scoop it out, and it's literally just like an ice cream, and it's brilliant. And it'll keep for like weeks as well. So
amazing.
It's very quick to make. Are the biscuits out the oven? How are they looking?
How are biscuits looking?
How are they out the oven?
Yeah, they're out the oven.
How are they looking?
I mean, they definitely don't look like yours, but they're biscuits. They're definitely biscuits, and they smell amazing. It's like an actual biscuit.
That it's only just slightly flatter than that. Otherwise, it looks pretty much perfect. You've got the hard shell on the outside, soft on the inside. Perfect. And how many have you got? 6, 12, 10?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Beautiful. Also, you've managed to get yours off your sheet. Mine is still a little bit stuck to the sheet, but you go ahead, eat one, try one, and see what they're like. And they should be okay. Bloody hope so.
Mmm.
They're right. Thank fuck for that.
They're so nice. They're really chewy in the middle.
And they're really quick to, they're nice and chewy in the middle. Some people don't like scented almonds, but I love them, so they've sort of worked. And it's a bit like, I think what we've just made, they're essentially, it was the precursor to like a French macaroon, like the Ladurée one, basically. And the only difference between this and a Ladurée macaroon is that you'd fold whipped egg whites into a Ladurée one to make it lighter and like food colouring or something. But otherwise, we've basically made macaroons. So, nice.
That's so nice. Because they're like a little bit more filling than like a meringue. You know, they're like
exactly.
I love meringue. Meringue's like light in the summer, but it's actually like it's actually. I thought they're quite healthy, aren't they?
There's no fat. Is that no fat?
No.
Sugar, we can cope with sugar. Almonds are good for you, and eggs are good for you. We have done a public service in this last hour. Apart from the mousse and ice cream, which is literally every element of that is fat.
That's all bad. That's all bad, but it's gonna be really good bad.
Yeah, exactly. I need a second opinion.
I know.
What's his opinion?
Oh, brilliant.
He's smiling. That's good. He's happy. He's thrilled.
Beautiful. It's so much.
He'll eat them all. That's a good thing.
Perfect.
He'll eat them all. So it's like I can bake because I know he'll actually eat them.
You know, those remind me a lot of my grandma's tea cakes. She used to make. She called them tea cakes.
Tea
They're
cakes.
just like little biscuit.
They're good, aren't they?
Really good.
Tea cakes. What sort of size were these tea cakes?
About that size.
About that size.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. It's so nice baking with somebody because you can actually, it just makes it so much more enjoyable.
It's so fun. Thank you so much for this. I just feel like it's so exciting to get to bake with you. I watched you for weeks and you were just so. I feel like, you know, it's so interesting when somebody leaves such a mark. I feel like you left such a mark, which was amazing, and everyone was like, "Oh," and you just like lived on in the show. I feel like even when you left.
Thank you, that's really sweet of you. Thank you. I should say this one as well. I remember I don't know how old I would have been, but I think I saw you as Nancy in the twin production of Oliver, and I remember being, I don't know, I must have been about 11, quite young, and I remember being really quite mortified by the death scene on stage, and I must have been like 7 or 8, because I remember sort of Nancy goes behind like a wooden wall and you see the shadow of the hammer, and I thought about that for like 2 weeks and it really left its mark.
Oh no, I love I love that. You know, when I saw Oliver the film, I remember being like, no, not Nancy, because oh my gosh, she's so
awful. Which Fagin were you playing against, do you know? Hello?
Neil Morrissey and Brian Conley. Can you hear me?
Oh, nice, okay.
So
I can hear you now.
I came and then I went and did the Les Mis film and then came back into it, so I kind of got both Fagins.
And then you must have gone out to do the Oscars performance as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like right in the middle of it, and so it was sort of bizarre because then I was like, in the show, and then I was out and back, and so it was a really wild year.
I know my friend Faith has watched the Les Mis film countless times, and I know that you're one of her favourite parts of the film by quite some margin. Oh, she's gone again.
Oh, what's her name?
There we go. Faith.
It's my
and
phone.
I think she's watching this.
Silly.
That's right.
What's her name?
Anyway, Faith.
Faith. Hi, Faith.
But yeah, so she'll be incredibly happy with that. It's been an absolute pleasure the last hour. I think the Instagram Live cuts out after an hour, but we've managed to bake quite a lot. We've crammed a lot into an hour.
Loads of stuff.
Thank
you so much. It's so much fun.
So to anyone watching, Samantha is going to be playing Elsa in Frozen in November, you said. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
October, November, we have our previews and then our press night in November.
The previous press night, and then tickets. Are tickets on sale now?
Yes.
So go and get tickets to that. Watch all the clips you can find on YouTube, and you can see how incredible it is. And yeah, it's been absolutely lovely having you on. Thank you so much, and enjoy what you've made.
Yeah, I will do. Thanks so much. Bye, everyone.
And say hello to Ivy for me. Bye. See you later, everyone.